Okay, so here we go. This is on a request by the Road Pilgrim to go through all the different cooking type devices that I have in my preps. And I always, and everyone will say the same thing: backups for your backups. Always have backup plans and different ways of being able to cook. Now, there are, I even have a tripod so I can cook over a fire. I'll show you a picture of that right here. But I'm not going to go into those details of every single thing that I do. I'm just going to show you some of the items that I have. Basically, the tripod that you saw would be like towards the end when I don't have any of the fuel canisters left to fuel these types, or I don't have any propane left for my grill. So then it goes down to just regular boiling over a fire, which will require you to have cast iron pots and pans, ones that you can actually cook over the fire without ruining them. And that's a whole nother area, the actual cooking utensils. I actually have a bin down in my basement that I call the cooking bin. Everything that I have is in bins, a lot of it. Some of it I use and some of it I keep stored. In the cooking bin, I'll have different fire starting materials in there, mostly stuff that I would use, like the cast iron stove type, or not cast iron stove, the cast iron pots, Dutch ovens. I'll put a link to one of the sites that I've bought some of them on. So you've seen this before. I think I've done a review in one of my videos way back when. This is just the PortaChef. It was one of the very first things I bought when I began prepping about 4 years ago. And, it just comes in this regular plastic carrying case. I'm eventually going to get rid of this. This is actually kind of a cheap little case, and I'd rather get something a little bit more strong. Now, this thing has done me good. I can't even say how awesome this thing has been just for the one burner. And it takes these canisters. Now that's my only drawback, is these aren't very readily available in normal, when you go to the stores. I've even had problems finding it where I actually bought this. I bought this in Cabela's. Usually when I come back from Gettysburg, I usually go to Gettysburg every year, and when I come back I always stop at Cabela's, and that's where I got this. And now I don't even find these type of canisters. What I'm thinking of doing is maybe bringing this to a local hardware store that has a lot of great prepping stuff. They even have canning stuff. It's really awesome. I'm very fortunate to have that store. I'm going to ask him to start carrying these. That way I don't have to deal with ordering them online. And as you can see, I used this in 2011. Still got some in there. And you just basically plug it into here. There's a little groove that you want to line up with that arrow with this, okay? And you just line it up. And you push this button to load it. Like so. And then you, voila. And that's pretty much it. It's simple. There's not much to it. And I've gotten about about a week and a half of continuous use. Well, not continuous use, but breakfast and dinner, and also heating water for little sponge baths. For over a week and a half, and so I used it pretty extensively. I don't know the exact count in hour and time, and I'm not going to even bother. So won't even ask. You guys you have the time to figure that out, by all means, and then you can video response me. This is in my wife's bug out bag. Those of you who will be going to the Get Out Safe store, I will be going over this probably in that place as well. Now, the one I have in my bug out bag is heavier than this. My whole goal was to make sure I lightened up my wife's bug out bag because she most certainly can't handle a lot of weight. I was also lightening up my bug out bag because it was ridiculously heavy. But most of the lighter stuff I've actually put in my wife's bug out bag. And this originally actually was in the basement as part of one of my backups. This is a great tool to boil water very rapidly. They have lots of accessories to go with this. It's the Jetboil SOL. You can go online, and I mean, they got pots and pans. They've got adapters for bigger cups, so you can cook more quantity. And what I loved about it is its compact design, and I will show you. Just open this up, and everything is stored inside the container, which I think is awesome. Alright, so this is the base. This is the actual burner attachment, sorry. And that attaches onto here. And then you take the bottom off, and this is actually here. It would help if I had my tripod, but my tripod is in my truck at work because I have my on-call vehicle. Now this basically, it has, let's see if I can get this, oh there we go. You can measure, water, how much water you can eat out of this. This also acts as something to eat out of. Pour your water in or your food or whatever. And the top of that stove actually covers this container, so you can kind of close things up, or say you're doing things and you want to cool your food off. You have the vent holes, and you can just put this aside while you're waiting for your food to cool off and do different things around the camp or whatever. I mean, this is great for hiking. I mean, there's so many multi-uses for this thing. But we will do a little demonstration of how fast. The only cons on this that I found is when you heat the Jetboil, it's like a neoprene cover here that wraps around and handle. This thing is super duper hot. Definitely pack with right next to this. When I have it in my bug out bag, I make sure that I have some kind of work gloves or gloves that I can handle hot things with. Just heavy duty leather work gloves or anything. And the worst thing you can have is a burn in the middle of nowhere. So basically the setup of this dealio, you got your base that you unfold. And put it like that. And you take your canister. Okay, so then you take your the burner, flip this down, and you screw this on. Like so. Like so. And you get it in nice and tight. And then and part of the reason why I got this for my wife too is I'm trying to make things, survival is about keeping your mindset clear, keeping your morale up. I mean, if you're thinking of a really worst case scenario where you've had loved ones are most likely dead, the people who are in your retreat or in your home who've made it to your home are feeling the same way. That's going to create a lot of unpredictable behaviors in people. So the more normalcy, the more type of morale picker-uppers you can do, the easier you can make what you have in your preps be usable to anybody, where it's nice and easy, no thought process. Just, that's one of the reasons why I like this, because you have this right here will just click your stove on, and you just turn this little knob here. And voila. Try to turn this down a little bit. Alright. This is something also you can use indoors. I've tested it. My carbon monoxide thing didn't go off. So it's something that you can actually use inside. On the bottom here it has kind of similar configuration that you would see in a radiator. And this helps maximize the heating ability on this cup. And this actually attaches onto here, and you can lock it in. You have these, if you notice, these grooves, and these grooves, and you just kind of push it down. Once again, I'm doing this with one hand, so it shows how easy it is, even one-handed. Maybe not. I can put this down. I can't do it one-handed. Actually, I did it one-handed. So there you go. You pick it up. It's attached. And this also is a pot holder, so you can put pots on there, and that would just go on the top. Well, I'll show you that after I jet boil some water. So let's see how fast this sucker, see how jet it boils. Okay, got this going. Let's do the timer. We're locking in 2 minutes, because this is how fast they say this is supposed to boil water. I never actually timed it perfectly, but it is about 2 minutes from what I see. As you can see, it's already bubbling at the very bottom. And this is 3 cups of water. And we'll wait until we go to a full rolling boil. I love this thing. I think, to me, this is an essential prepping item. I'm even considering buying a couple more, and I'm tossing back and forth between the one that I have in my bug out bag. I don't know. So I really like this thing, but I like the one I have. Mine's heavier, which you will see later on in the video. Now it's doing a pretty good boil. I'm going to go take a look at our time here. Got 42 seconds left. Hopefully we can hear it beep. And that's the thing. I mean, in a disaster situation, you want to make things as easy as possible. We already got some steam going. And you want the most efficient way you can utilize the fuel you have for whatever you're trying to do. And that's what this thing is all about. Okay, I'm going to take a look. Oh, that's 2 minutes. And we're not exactly rolling boil, but this is definitely hot enough. I mean, this will scald you. I got my watch still going. We got 2 minutes. And there we go. We got rolling boil. About 2 minutes, 30 seconds. That's pretty darn impressive.